Welcome, listeners. I'm so thankful you're here today. And today I'm going to do the saddle up segment, which is just going over key takeaways from Tuesday's episode, where we had attorney Heather Quick with us. And she is a Florida divorce attorney. But that wasn't really why I had her on. And I maybe threw her a little bit for a loop. But it was a great conversation. I really wanted to talk to her about empowering all women because I want to help. Of course, I want to help women through divorce and beyond. I mean, I'm still doing divorce coaching. I also have that online parenting plan course to help couples divorce well together. But I really am changing the focus of this to just help women in general when we go through something hard. I've been through something hard, and sometimes just the little things in life are hard, like maybe becoming an empty nester, maybe it is a divorce, maybe it is a diagnosis, but whatever it is, I just want you to know it's not too late to start feeling better. And what Heather kind of talked about for feeling better was to working basically with your calling, like finding something that you love and doing it. And I have always focused on that probably since my late 40s, but I want you to know that sounds so dreamy, but there were always pieces of it that I didn't love. Like I loved when I was doing mediations, I loved helping people work together. I loved doing the podcast. I didn't love sitting down and going through divorce paperwork. I didn't love every aspect of couples who could get kind of gnarly at each other. And now, as I journey through life, it's even more important to me to find that joy, to find that ease, and that just like love of myself and just being okay with what I like and what I value and not judging it. And so, one of the things you all know, I'm writing that book, and I do feel like that's a calling. I feel like that's a calling from God, and it meets my passion. It is what I am passionate about. However, there are days when I go, like today, I still haven't done my 2-hour writing block. And sometimes it's a little hard for me to sit my fanny in this chair, or go in the kitchen and sit at the counter and sit there for 2 hours and work through the outline of the book and the chapters. And once I get into it, I get lost in it and I do love it. But I just want to say, like, it probably isn't all going to be stuff that you love, but like, let it be the best that it can be. And I think a lot of that can be like the people you work with, the environment that you're in. Do you feel like you're helping someone? And you can help people, I think, almost in any job. You know what I mean? Like, I even think, like, I cleaned toilets when I was in college. Well, I kind of help people feel better about when they were living in the dorms about going in the bathroom because it felt better. So it doesn't have to be big, but I think that you can find a lot of joy if you do find things that are purposeful and in a great environment, and that you basically feel called and passionate about doing. And a lot of times what she talked about was to figure out what your gifts are. When you figure out what your gifts are, that kind of leads you to um, what you're good at is often what you like to do. Not always, but often it points you in the right direction, and it can make your life easier if you are good at something. So that's something to keep in mind. So, and another thing that Heather talked a lot about, why she wanted to get into the work of, she's a women's only divorce agency in Florida, and she wanted to help women who were divorcing feel their worth. I do too. And I actually want every woman to feel their worth. And she was saying how she often will, if they can't come up with something to make them feel worthy, she'll give them, borrow them thoughts. And, I think one of those borrowed thoughts that hit me when I was going through my journey was, "You're a daughter of the king." And when I heard that, I was like, "Ooh," it felt like it took off, me trying to perform, and that I was just God's daughter, and that He adored me and He created me, and that gave me worth. So do your due diligence or work with someone. You can work with me, work with a coach to help you figure out how to feel worthy. And, a lot of times it's just sitting back, looking at how you feel, and then think, how do I want to feel? If you're going through something hard, sometimes you have to sit a long time. I mean, I think I sat months feeling the way I felt, and I think I needed to. When I was going through that diagnosis, I needed to sit and rest, and then I could move forward and start thinking about, how do I want to feel? And then one other thing that I just wanted to mention that she talked about, and I think so many times in my life, I have thought, if I switched something, like if I changed my kids' schools, or if I switched the church I was going to, or the job that I was doing, I was like, oh, well, I'm failing. I'm making a mistake. I'm jumping the ship. But this is what I want you to know: pivoting is not failing. Mistakes are not failing. It's all learning, and pivoting brings you to a better spot. I am so thankful that I changed my children's schools when I did. Not all of them, some of them stayed, some of them switched, and one of them switched a couple of times. And then we found that perfect fit for her, or the best fit for her. So don't be hard on yourself. I guess that's what I want to say. Speak to yourself like you would to your best friend, your sister, or your baby daughter, because that's how God wants you to talk to yourself. And it's never too late to find the career and the life and to feel better, to feel the way you want to feel. There's always going to be the 50-50 of the negative and the positive, but you are in charge of how you feel, and you get to learn. If you didn't have that negative, you wouldn't be able to learn what you really need. So if you want to hear more from Heather about changing careers and her law practice, go back to Tuesday's episode. It's a great one. Thank you so much for being here. You take good care.